Ever wonder what happens when you tell a retired scientist he can't water his own lawn? Let me tell you about the day I turned my sprinklers into a weapon of petty justice and soaked the neighborhood's self-appointed queens in a lesson they'll never forget. My name's Daniel Harper, a former biology professor who thought retirement meant quiet days and a well-kept garden. Boy, was I wrong. After 30 years teaching at the State University, I packed up my life and moved to Willow Creek, a fancy sub-EVY town with pristine lawns, shady oaks, and an HOA that made prison wardens look chill. I wanted to be near my daughter and her kids, just a few blocks away. The realtor had gushed about the community standards and gorgeous common areas, which I now know was code for run while you still can. My daughter swore the place was great, saying the HOA was strict but fair. Spoiler, she was half right. 2 days after my MOVYing truck left, I met Victoria Langley, Willow Creek's HOA president. She showed up at my door, all polished nails and fake smiles, clutching a binder thicker than my old textbook. "Professor Harper," she said, her voice dripping with superiority. "I'm Victoria, here to welcome you with our community guidelines." I took the binder, already sensing trouble. "My daughter mentioned some rules," I said, trying to keep it light. "We prefer SAW standards of excellence SAW," she corrected, her eyes scanning my unpacked boxes like a health inspector. "Willow Creek's property values depend on these guidelines." She flipped through color-coded tabs: trash can placement, approved paint colors, even holiday decor schedules. Then she got to landscaping. "Your lawn needs work," she said, gesturing at my slightly shaggy yard. "The previous owner let it slide. We recommend elite turf services." I'd already hired a local guy, so I politely declined. Her smile tightened. "Just ensure they follow our standards, especially watering. All irrigation happens between 2 and 4 p.m., twice weekly, for aesthetic uniformity." I blinked. "But the city says to water early morning to save water. It's a drought." She waved me off. "The city's rules are basic. We're more refined. Wet lawns at odd hours look sloppy." With that, she clicked away in her heels, levying me with a bad feeling. I settled in, hired my landscaper, and installed a water-efficient sprinkler system with drought-resistant plants. I followed most of the HOA's rules, even the dumb ones, like keeping my garage door shut unless I was driving in. But trouble came fast. One Tuesday, I watered at 6 a.m., per city drought rules allowing early mornings or late evenings. By noon, a neon green violation notice was slapped on my door. "Unapproved watering schedule." I called the number, and Victoria answered. "You were watering at 6:15 a.m., she said, like I'd committed a felony. "The city recommends mornings to cut evaporation," I explained. "That's wasteful mid-afternoon." Her voice turned icy. "Willow Creek has standards. If you don't like them, maybe this isn't your place." I hung up, fuming, and called the city. They confirmed HOAs can't override drought laws and were very curious about Victoria's 2 p.m. rule. I emailed the HOA board, citing ordinances and tossing in some studies on water conservation old professor habits. The reply wasn't an email but a VY sit from Victoria's daughter, Samantha, the HOA's communications lead. At 27, she had her mom's smugness down pat. "Mom asked me to clarify the watering policy," she said, like she was granting me a royal audience. "The city's rules supersede yours," I said. Her smile didn't budge. "The last owner got it. Fighting us will make life here hard." "Is that a threat?" I asked, stunned. "Just how our community works," she chirped, handing me a flyer for some HOA event. As she left, I caught her snapping photos of my house. By evening, they were on the Willow Creek Facebook group, captioned, "New resident struggling with standards." My address was clear, and comments ranged from, "Give him time," to, "If he hates our rules, he should leave." My neighbor, Mike Russo, a retired civil engineer with a New Jersey growl, filled me in over a beer. "Victoria's been queen bee for years," he said. It got worse when Samantha moved back. They're a tag team now. He listed their crimes: fines for bird feeders, trash cans out too long, even unapproved cooking smells. They can't regulate smells, I said, choking on my drink. They do anyway. Mike shrugged. Most folks cave. Those who don't get buried in violations. He eyed my sprinklers. Nice setup. I used to design water systems. Want the pros' input? That chat changed everything. The harassment ramped up. More notices, more Facebook posts, anonymous letters about property values. Then came the morning that turned a lawn dispute into legend. I set my sprinklers for 6 a.m., as usual. At 5:55, I peeked out and saw Victoria and Samantha saw on my lawn saw. Victoria stood over a sprinkler head, arms crossed. Samantha filmed, ready to catch my crime. What they didn't know was Mike and I had spent the weekend souping up my system. Smartphone controls, extra zones, and hidden pop-up heads for maximum coverage. I texted Mike. They're here. He replied. Go time. At 6 o'clock, I hit the app, activating the new perimeter zone. 6 high-pressure sprinklers rose around them, unleashing a 360 degrees deluge. Victoria screamed as water blasted her from all sides, her perfect hair flattened. Samantha flailed, trying to save her phone while yelling. Turn it off! I stepped onto my porch, coffee in hand. Morning, ladies. Need something? I called, calm as could be. This is assault! Victoria shrieked, mascara streaking. It's irrigation, I corrected. I'm watering per city rules. Standing on my property during my schedule? Bold choice. They tried dodging, but I switched zones, blocking every dry spot. Mike's design was flawless, no escape. Neighbors gathered, phones out, barely hiding their grins. We'll report this. Samantha sputtered, her white pants now see-through as she slogged to the street. I'm sure the city'll love hearing why you're stopping drought compliance. I shot back. Mike cackled from his porch. Nothing like a morning rinse. The videos spread like wildfire. Neighbors texted them, posted them, even added music. By noon they were viral. Victoria and Samantha filed complaints with the HOA, which Victoria ran, the police, who said getting wet while trespassing isn't assault, and the city, claiming I overused water. Big mistake. The city inspector approved my system and saw the HOA for their wasteful 2 p.m. rule, issuing a cease and desist. The next HOA meeting was chaos. Years of grudges, fines, favoritism, retaliation poured out. When the treasurer admitted HOA funds paid Samantha's consulting firm, the room erupted. Victoria was ousted, the board replaced, and the guidelines rewritten to align with city rules. Neighbors I'd never met stopped by, some thanking me, others asking about sprinklers. Mike and I started a Sustainable Willow Creek workshop, which became a monthly thing. Victoria and Samantha threatened to sue but backed off when their lawyer pointed out they trespassed. Rumor has it they're house hunting elsewhere. 2 months later, the city's environmental team called. They'd seen the VY Dale and offered me a spot on their drought at Sorry board, using my science chops to shape policy. A year in, Willow Creek's a different place. No more HOA tyranny, just cookouts, quirky lawn decor, and diverse gardens. At our Waterwise block party, we demoed sprinklers to music, kids cheering. My lawn's the greenest around, using less water than most, thanks to science and a touch of karma. Sometimes, sipping coffee at 6 a.m. as my sprinklers hum, I picture Victoria and Samantha, drenched and screeching, learning the hard way: mess with a scientist's lawn, and you'll get more than wet'll spark a revolution.